Will the Yaoi and Yuri never not be doomed by the narrative? Hey, it's Allie. Welcome back to my channel. Why did no one warn me? I should have known though, judging by how much my Yuri and Yaoi radar was going off. And of course, where there is Yuri, there is always a narrative to doom it in. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I am of course talking about Alien Stage. Can you even see that? If you don't know what I'm talking about, I am talking about the ever popular Alien Stage, a musical project that takes place right here on YouTube through a series of music videos. Now, I need to show y'all exactly how I felt right after watching the very first music video.
let me tell you what happened. I personally was watching a artist that I follow do an artist alley, very random, and she talked about what her best-selling stuff was at that artist alley, and she was like, oh yeah, these keychains I made of these two characters, you know, the Yaoi be Yaoing, and I'm like, now I'm interested. Now I'm sitting here thinking that like maybe it's a like a webtoon or some type of webcomic or something like that, you know, just something I've never heard of before, because I'm very new to the world of webtoons. I just started reading Omniscient Reader, like Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. I just started reading that. I'm probably gonna make a video about that too. Anyway, so I'm sitting here like, oh, probably a webtoon that I've never heard of. I'm in my webtoon era. Let me look it up. And I look it up. I didn't even know the name of it. I just knew the characters. And so I looked up the characters and they were like, oh, it's Alien Stage. I was like, what's Alien Stage? I look up Alien Stage and they're like, it's a music project with lore, basically. A music project that has a bunch of lore to it. Music videos come out. There's lore to the music videos. So I'm like, cool. I'm thinking it's like an idol project. Like, you know, Project Diva or Project Sekai. Like something like that, right? There's lore. It's a music like game, but there's lore. That's what I thought it was. I just watched the first one. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, I need to get caught up on all the lore before I talk about this. The very first one is insane.
And I need to talk about this today, because if I don't talk about this project, I might explode. Also, please, go watch this if you haven't already. It takes like less than 30 minutes to watch all the way through all of the music videos. There is so much time, effort, and dedication put into this. You can just tell it's oozing. There's so much lore. There's so much to it. And I'm only going to be talking about like the main stuff today, but there's so much more to it. So please, go watch it. Go check it out. Go support the people behind this. And if at any time you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe, because I make videos like this all the time. And comment down below who your favorite character is. You know, I'm not even gonna say who my favorite character is. You're gonna have to guess. Leave a guess down in the comments and, you know, edit it later to see if you're correct. I really want to know actually what your guys' guesses were versus like, well, who it actually is. Anyway, let's jump into it. So yeah, needless to say, I got hooked very fast after that first video. Mizi, the pink-haired girl, and Sua, the black-haired girl, those are my girls right there. Those are my girls. And I would say if anything ever happens to them, but like everything is happening to them all the time, so I can't even say that. I just have to watch. You can only watch. Like I said, my first official thought of this whole thing was that, oh, this is like a K-pop idol project, like anime inspired idol project thing. And what this really is just the whole industry pitting two idols up against each other. Now, this project absolutely 100% does touch on some allegories towards idol culture. Do not get it twisted. However, it is not what I thought it was about. Like, I thought it was going to be about fan cultures pitting two idols against each other and they're really like secretly in love. No, that'd be the happy ending. Unfortunately. Like, needless to say, I was flabbergasted, shook, taken aback, gagged. So as we find out in this first video, this whole competition is really just a singing to the death competition. Talk about singing for your life. Literally singing for your life. Where aliens hold this immense power over humans and treat them as pretty much pets, slaves, playthings, etc, etc. Like, we did not win Independence Day, okay? Will Smith failed us. We lost. And now my immediate question on this that hasn't been completely answered yet is, where do all these babies come from? Because some people think they're like genetically manufactured in a lab, but I stand to think that breeding programs like these babies got to come from somewhere, and I don't think they're being bred in a lab, because then yeah, it's still like horrible, but then it's like, okay, these are genetic mutations of their own creations. But I think the whole thing about this being so horrific is the fact that they are humans being torn from their families or being forced to give birth under these circumstances and then being torn from their families, which I think fits better with the whole K-pop analogy of like people who train since birth to become these K-pop stars and how they barely ever get to see see their family and spend time with their family. So one thing I love about this is that there's not really any clear overt story. We get to hear Mizi's narration in the beginning talking about God and about how aliens came to Earth, stole the aliens away, and how humans no longer believe in God. But if that is what makes us intrinsically human, then her god is Sua. The Yuri is Yuri, and yes. However, it is very interesting that that is the only clear-cut like exposition that we ever get, up until a commercial, which we'll get to later, about Alien Stage itself as a like TV show on this whatever alien planet. I love about the fact that round one is completely through Mizi's perspective, and of course she's talking about Sua being her god and how she looks up to her, and she clearly sees Sua as like the better performer. She like is walking up to her and saying, hey look, I passed, and they're like kids, and it's like obvious now that looking back on it, you thought they were passing like some type of test, but little did you know. And I knew, Jesus. But we find out later, right at the end, that all of this was kind of in Mizi's head or through her perspective. So things are a little bit skewed. Things might not necessarily be as she thinks they are. Like she thinks that Sua is the better performer here, but we see at the end that it was clearly her that was the better performer. And so that just shows how much she looked up to Sua, how much she believed in Sua, and all these things. However, that might not have been the truth, because in the beginning, it's very much so showed that like Sua is the one who's like really good and all this stuff. But we find out later that Mizi is kind of a standout star. Like we don't know much about Sua, and she doesn't seem to be a standout star the way that like Mizi is. And so Mizi, it's just so it is just so like cute, the fact that she saw Sua as like this godlike figure, and really it was Mizi who was the one who was like objectively better. Or if you want to go with the other fan theory that's been going around, is the fact that Mizi and Sua both sang equally or tried their hardest to sing equally as much as possible so that the scores would even out, and somebody somewhere was rigging the scores. Because we'll talk about this in the next round, about how things are most definitely being rigged behind the scenes by people in power and people with money. So maybe Mizi and Sua tried to have as equal enough footing, but somebody behind the scenes made it so. Because you can see their like scores trickle up. Like Mizi's at like 85 and then 86 and then 87, and it's just like that was a really weird trickle to happen. I know maybe it was just for like dramatic effect, but like at this point, every little thing, especially since there's no narration after this really, is left up to the interpretation of the audience. So everything is like done on purpose. So maybe it is very possible that maybe, and it's also very sweet to think about the fact that they were trying to game the system like that when the system cannot be gamed, unfortunately. Sua, she right in front of Mizi, and that is the end of that. Mizi has won, and she gets to go on to the next round. This becomes a running theme also throughout Alien Stage, is the slowing down of the music and then punctuating that music with something that's happening in the animation. In this case, it's right at the end when Mizi is singing like, oh Clementine, please don't leave my side, which is a change of the lyrics. Like, what if I killed myself? Change the lyrics like that. What if I and as soon as the like music like ends, it like crescendos and then ends, and then she gets the collar put back on her, which even if you are paying attention, still to me like it caught me off guard. I was like, oh, like you're never leaving this place. And then of course the bracket thing at the end is like, oh, this is the first of many. That was like a really huge surprise to me. That's why I'm like so sad if you're watching this and you haven't watched Alien Stage, because that moment itself was such a like, whoa, like what is going on here? I went into Alien Stage completely blind, and I feel like that's the best way to see it. Obviously you've now ruined it for yourself if you haven't. So if this even remotely, this 8 minutes into the video or however many minutes into this video got you interested, please go watch it, because the rest of this is, oh, it's so good to experience firsthand, and then come back to this video when you're done. So let's talk about round two. I have a whiteboard here. As you can see, I drew all of the characters very shittily. To explain the relationships and everything that happens. We'll see how this goes, because my microphone is acting up, but we'll see how this goes. Is this even legal? Is this even Because why does he have a guitar and the other guy doesn't? Like that, we already talked about some people rigging some stuff behind the scenes. This stinks of interference. Like, yes, does Till know how to play the guitar? Has he always known how to play the guitar? Yes, but I think it is very unfair in a singing competition to give the contestants musical instruments. And in fact, we'll see later that, in fact, I think there was a like counter rigging, because Luca, who is a character we'll talk about later, also gets an instrument at the end to counter Till's instrument, but he didn't have an instrument in any of the other ones. So I think that was just a counter, but we'll get to all of that later. But like, so this is Till. Till, he's my baby. He is my child. I love him so much. And immediately upon seeing him, he is going through it. He will continue to go through it. He will never not be going through it. He looks at Mizi in the same way that Mizi looked at Sua. And we can tell right away there's like a little love triangle thing going on here, where he is obsessed with Sua and wants Sua to like notice him and all this stuff. Also worth mentioning here, and I'll mention it later with Ivan, but I was under the impression that none of these people really knew each other. Like Till and Ivan were friends, kind of. Yeah, they were friends. And then Till and Mizi were friends, but I didn't know if like Sua was friends with them, or if they, apparently they were all good friends. We could talk about that later, but like apparently they were all close enough friends to like be pretty good friends in this little academy death trap that they were in. But he is lashing out every time we see him. He is lashing out, whether it's against the system, whether it's a bid to get, you know, Mizi's attention, something. He is always lashing out, and that spirit is never ever broken in him. Well, we even get to see in flashbacks how this love for Mizi has like started to bloom and blossom. Mizi and Sue are making flower crowns for each other, and then Till has this like thing of flowers in his hands, like a cut later. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought that Till stole the flowers from Sua so that he could give it to Mizi. I really thought he just stole their flowers. I'm sorry. At this point in the game, I thought everybody was suspicious and suspect and a horrible person. I'm sorry, I had my guard up, okay? But no, he ended up just wanting to make flowers for Mizi himself. And of course, people had to come in and mess it up. All these fuck ass aliens are gonna mess it up for my boy. Till is my boy, I'm sorry. So much like Mizi treats Sua as her god, Till also treats Mizi as his god. And you can hear in the lyrics of this song about how much he craves her attention. Like, how dare you think that this is enough? Basically saying like, I'm never going to not want your attention, basically. And it's very, very sweet. It comes off very aggressive in the song, but like, once you get to know who Till is, you're like, oh my god, this is so sweet. Like, he literally just wants her attention. Like, it's a school, like, if this was a normal situation, this would be like a little schoolyard crush. Like, oh, he really, really likes her, and he's just going and going and going and going, and it becomes very clear that he's not even giving the guy who's with him, he's supposed to be battling against, a chance. Which, like, I have a little mini theory, that's why the song is so short. Like, yes, the song is short because it's a very punchy song, but I think also the song is short narratively to show that Till didn't even give the other guy a chance, which again should probably be against the rules, but like, nobody seems to care. And it becomes increasingly obvious, especially with how much Till lashes out, that he is considered basically like this prized fighting horse by whoever owns him. I hate saying that, but you know, like whatever alien is like in charge of him, basically, is clearly some rich person who like can sway whatever to go in his favor, because the amount of times that Till has like lashed out, and also comparatively to like Ivan, who we'll get to later, like the amount of times that Till has like lashed out and all that's like, he's like a caged dog, basically like a caged prized fighting dog, and you can't kill him because like he's bringing you the money, but also he's never going to be like acting in line. And I think Till knows this at this point, and he leverages that a couple of times, namely when he smashes his guitar, which apparently is an alien, a lower class alien. So there's a whole bunch of fucked up shit going on in this society. Like, it's not just like, oh, aliens lost, but I guess that would make sense if there's a dominant alien group that is like overtaking everybody. Like, it wouldn't just be humans who would also be the ones being taken over. What is that? What is that? It's a UFO. No, like there's something outside, and I think, oh, it's birds. You know those like sky things that like have like little carry banners, like planes that have banners? I thought it was that. It's birds. Girl, I really thought I saw a UFO for a second. I don't even remember what my train of thought was on. Oh, lower class alien cast, yeah. So yeah, if humans didn't win this Independence Day war thing when aliens came to Earth, it is very clear that why not other lower class aliens or aliens on the same level as humans also wouldn't have won that war. And so, but it's kind of even more fucked up because it's like, I don't think this alien was always a guitar. Look, I'm gonna just say it there. I'm gonna just say that there. Anyway, so he basically commits murder. So his body count is up to 1 at least. Till. And then the song ends and he just wins. And we don't even get to see the the point system. Like in the next one with Ivan, you'll get to see how big the discrepancy is between Ivan and whoever he's up against. But like here, we don't even get to see the points. We don't even get to see how badly he took over the screen here. And I just love that all of this is just through analysis of the song and the music video itself. Like the songs are in Korean and there's English subtitles, and you should absolutely turn on the subtitles because they also incorporate a lot of artistic stuff into the subtitles, like just the changing of the color and things like that. Like it's so significant as well. It's not even insignificant. Like you should turn on the subtitles when you get a chance to, because it's so good. It's so good. I love this so much because it's taking the art form of like making a YouTube video and everything that goes into making a YouTube video and like just amplifying it and adding to the experience of watching this thing. Like it really does feel like you're watching like this idol show, and obviously people are dying in it, but like it really does feel like you're watching this idol show, and every day you're seeing like who's next on the chopping block, because as we'll find out, this all takes place within a very short period of time. All right. Yeah, we got Till, who is in love with Sua. I mean, Mizi. And Mizi, who is in love with Sua. Is this making sense so far? Is this making sense so far? Was this worth my time and effort? Was it? Can you see that? I hope you can see that. Let's move on to a fan favorite character, or who I lovingly like to call freak number 1, Ivan. Don't we just love messy gay people? Ivan, where do I even begin with him? Number 1, he seems so very poised and put together. And we actually get to see Ivan at the end of round 2 as a little bit of foreshadowing, looking at Till. And it's like obvious, you think that like, oh, he's gonna be the next contestant up to go. It's a little bit more than that, let's just say that. And he looks so polite and poised and kind of like he's better than it all. Little do we know, the freak has yet to be let out the station. So this song, and a pattern of these songs, is about how you can't have something that you want. Basically, this like love rhombus that we got going on. Like every single song so far has been like, I love you, please don't leave, please pay attention to me, please look at me, I want you so bad, please look at me. Like that is literally what all of these songs are in a bunch of different genres. I love it. But it's like makes this really weird love square rhombus thing. Well, I guess if you include Sua, that's a pentagram, because it's 5 people. No, it's 4 people. That would be a square, girly. But the square just doesn't connect. I know people have issues with like love triangles that don't connect. I think all love triangles should connect. That's besides the point. That's not what's happening here. But I just like, you know, just in general, if we're gonna have a love triangle, I think all sides should connect. But this is a love line, a love conga line. I will never ever get over songs punctuating art and art punctuating songs. I will never get over it. It is like one of the best things about Alien Stage. Specifically in this, we get to see kind of like this meteor coming down. I don't know if that, like, it seems pretty literal, but also like metaphorical of like what these meteors might be. Who knows? Either way, we do know that like Ivan, much like everybody else, has been going through it for a very long time. It seems like he was either thrown out or cast away by somebody, and you can tell that he reserves his emotions on purpose. Like he does not let his emotions out for anybody, which is probably why Till catches his eye, because this is somebody who wears his emotions like on his sleeve. He does not hide them for anybody or for anything. And so Ivan, a person who is so used to, probably trained to conceal his emotions, act really poised, act a certain way, finally gets to see somebody like Till who just lets loose all over the place, and he is absolutely enamored by it. He crushes the flowers in a bid for attention, crushes the flowers that Till was going to give to Mizi. And at first you think like, oh, it's because he's jealous, because it's very clear he likes Till, right? And maybe yes, but also I think he did it just so that Till will pay attention to him. Like, because then Till starts to fight him and Ivan has this really crazy grin on his face, like, yes, I'm enjoying this, like, yes, pay attention to me, please. Like, even if it's negative attention, pay attention to me. And they really, you think that they're not going to be friends, but then they end up being friends. Like, they're friends. Like, and obviously, like, Ivan likes him and is, like, kind of pushy onto him, but, like, they're still friends. Till and Ivan are friends friends, because I think Till also just doesn't want to be alone. And so he's just like, well, this guy's here, so I might as well be his friend. He's also suspiciously in the background when Mizi and Till are about to get attacked by like this alien guard dog thing. More on that later, put a pin in that. But he's just like standing there, seemingly looking at Till, seeing like what his reaction is going to be. And I think he like enjoys the reaction again of Till being very headstrong, being very emotional, having all of this like emotion in him coming out. And again, like, Ivan can't do that. Either he can't do it like mentally, or like, again, it's been trained out of him. And even more proof that these two were at least friends is when Ivan and Till are like running away, and seemingly that they're going to run away like just from this facility. And somehow, for some reason, maybe it's because of the meteors in the sky, whatever, there was some distraction enough. Also, I think Ivan probably has a lot of pull because he is such a like poised and like really good student. Like he was like top of the class type of stuff. I think because of that, he had a lot of pull to go places where other people couldn't have gone. And so he like ran and he took Till with him. And then Till said no. Till basically was like, I'm not going to run away with you, probably because he was in love with Mizi, and he actually runs back into the facility against probably his better judgment, especially because he was getting beat the fuck up. Like he was getting constantly abused, and he still chose to go back because of Mizi. And Ivan, you think would be upset about that, is like, oh, the game is on. The game is on. And the song especially ends with like this guttural like vocals from the person singing, and it's just, oh, it's so good. And of course we get to see at the end Ivan wins, and we see how much of like a discrepancy between the points are. Like Ivan got like 90 points and the other person got like 68. Like we see like he's good at what he does, like very much so, and he's also a fan favorite, of course. All right, round 4, let's talk about freak number 2, Electric Boogaloo. So not only is this my favorite song, but it is also my favorite character that gets introduced. Stick with me here, stick with me here, stick with me. Did you guys guess Luca? Did you guys guess in the comments that it was going to be Luca? Probably not. Oh, I forgot one thing. We gotta update our little board here. Oh, I forgot to draw Luca and Hyuna. Okay, just imagine that they're on the board because I'm not drawing them right now. All right, here is the updated board. As you can see, it's getting a little bit complicated here, but stick with me here. Okay, so Luca is top right now. We learn pretty much later, but he is number 1. He won, seemingly, I think he won the last round, which is crazy that you get to win the last like competition and then you don't get a break. You just get to go again. And isn't that like what happened with the Hunger Games? Like the people who won had to go back into like whatever Hunger Games as like this kind of victory thing, and they all hated it and they all had like extreme PTSD from it. Yeah, it's kind of like that, except Luca's crazy. And he's kind of lost it. He is going up against Mizi and this beautiful duet song, Ruler of My Heart. Oh my god, so good. It is such a good song. Oh my god. And at first I thought Mizi was going crazy and seeing Sua in Luca, but no, it turns out, because he does this later, it had to be told to me because I was like, what is going on here? Like, are they just going crazy? No, Luca pretends or mocks the mannerisms of like Sua, so that he appears to Mizi, who is already mentally gone, as Sua, so that she goes crazy and she shakes and she breaks and she's not able to perform. Even though she wasn't like, he didn't need to do this. Okay, like he didn't need to do this because she was already not able to perform. Like, also the part where you could see him like circling her like a fucking vulture. Like, it was just unnecessary. Like, he just is so unnecessary. And we see him at certain parts throughout all of this, learning how to mimic the movements of other contestants to use against them. He somehow knew that those two had a thing going on, because that's also the other thing, is that like, how did you know that Mizi and Sua were like besties and that they had some type of thing going on that you could exploit later? Because if it was just some stranger, like, I would be sad that that stranger is dead. But if you tried to mimic a stranger that I just met, who I just went up against, it probably wouldn't be as effective. But you somehow knew that this was a person who I loved and you're mimicking them. How, like, like, how did you know that? How did you know that? And then so Mizi's had enough. My girl, she has had enough. Justice for my girl. She has had absolutely enough. And she jumps on his ass. And rightfully so, beats him the fuck up. And chokes him out. And he's about to die when the people come in. These, the enforcers that have been sitting on the sidelines the entire time waiting for the, right to kill, basically. Drag her off of him. And what seems like a kind of confusion moment for them. They don't really seem to know, like, should we shoot her? Should we not shoot her? Like, what's going on? And And then a Rebel Forces breakthrough. Oh, I was not expecting it. I was not expecting it. Rebel Forces breakthrough and save Misi from what was probably going to be death for her. And then we get to see who is pretty much the leader of this group. Look at Luca. Luca looked concerned and surprised. And then the song ends. I just, come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Oh, it's so good. It's just so good. And Ruler of My Heart as a song, oh my god. Like, you can hear her trying to keep up with him. Again, he didn't need to, like, do anything to win this. Like, she was already pretty frazzled and wasn't going to be performing at her best, because these are back-to-back, by the way. Like, these are literally back-to-back, like, songs and, like, performances that they're doing. So she's still frazzled from losing her loved one, right? You didn't have to push it that far. You could have just been a little taunting, you know, come on, let's dance. Let's dance. Like, you could have done that. Instead, he decided to just be evil. And I love him for it. Oh god, the Luca cope is just getting started. I hope you know this. I have an entire paragraph dedicated to him, which we're going to talk about next. So before we get to round 6, we have to talk about the 2 videos, technically 3, but I'm gonna skip the Mizi Suwa one. Just like, if you guys want to hear me talk about that and all of the other character stuff that I would love to talk about, like, I'm not gonna be able to get to the supplementary material today, like all the stuff on Twitter, their pictures, and also the free stuff on Patreon that they have about all the lore of this show. If you want me to, I will do a second video about this, talking about the fandom, characters, character deep dives, all of this stuff. Just let me know, because I already got it. I already got it up here. I just need to give it to you guys. But for now, we're just gonna stick to what is plot relevant, like directly plot relevant. So these 2 videos are. So the first one is called Top 3, which is basically just a commercial for Alien Stage, and it's framed as this like in-universe commercial that you would see on like TV or something, where they talk about, first it's like the news, where they talk about like, oh, aliens are questioning, like people, citizens I guess, are questioning whether or not this is ethical for us to be keeping humans as like pets and making them do stuff like Alien Stage, which is like interesting to note that not everybody in this world that they are in agrees with what is going on. However, it's giving very much performative, because nothing has been done about it. Y'all are just yapping on the news. Like, ain't that the truth? Like, nothing is being done about it. It's very performative. Wow, life imitates art, or art imitates life, whatever. But then the second news story we get to see is that human terrorists have been storming the stages and stuff like that, have been attacking and things like that. And that is very clear that these are the group of rebels that took Suwa, or Mizi, I'm sorry, I keep mixing them up because they're soulmates. They took Mizi away to hopefully help her, right? And then it immediately is like, okay, well, whatever, let's just stop talking about that. Let's talk about our top 3 guys instead. Yes! Like, it's so true to life how much they were just like, okay, what about all that news? Who cares about the news? Who cares about that stuff? Let's talk about our top 3 favorite guys, which is Ivan, Till, and Luca, which is where we find out that Ivan is a very much so like he's here, like he's stable, he's here, he is like a fan favorite. But the top dog is Luca. It literally has stuff called Luca syndrome, because that is how popular he is. And then we have Till, who is like this up and comer, like hit the scene. He has a #1 album, all of this type of stuff, blah 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 blah. Save him. And that's pretty much the end of that video. And then we have my second favorite song, very close second, which is called All In. All In follows Hyuna, who is the leader of this rebel group, and Mizi, who is following her and tailing her, basically training, I guess, under her as she like adjusts to this, I guess, new life that she has now. And Hyuna starts singing on stage in like this karaoke bar. However, it is interspersed with flashes of Luca, and it's very clear that these two have some type of history together. So we find out that they were Luca, and seemingly this other person who I think is her brother, correct me if I'm wrong, though I heard somewhere that that was her brother. All 3 of them together, they all used to be friends in this facility together, you know, everything's great. Luca tries to make a move on it's not funny. Luca, in all his, I guess, craziness and possessiveness, tries to make a move or says something. I think he more or less just says something to Hyuna along the lines of like, you're mine, or something very possessive and controlling like that. And then Hyuna tells her brother, and then her brother gets into a little bit of fisticuffs with Luca, you know, because that's not cool. It's not cool, my guy, not cool. And then the brother hits his head on a rock, during the scuffle, and both of them are laid down on the ground. Clearly, the brother is dead. He's gone. He's finito. Noticeably, Hyuna doesn't look terrified the way that like the other girls in the background do, which I think is very interesting because like maybe she knew this was gonna happen, or maybe she thought, maybe she's just in shock or something. But it's like, it's very noticeable that she's not as terrified as like everybody else is, especially because we've seen her terrified face before in this video. So it's a very, very interesting thing to know. Luca is laughing because he's like, ha ha ha, so much fun. I have a theory, and this is the Luca cope. Y'all don't come for me in the comments, or do. It's fine. I understand that this might be cope, but listen to me. Listen to me. What if, because we see Luca laughing, right? He's laughing and then he looks very surprised and then it cuts, right? I think what happened was him and the brother got into a fight and a little bit of fisticuffs, and Luca just thought it was funny, ha ha ha. He did not realize that oh boy was dead on the ground with his head gashed in on a rock. Because his eyes go to surprise right at the end. Why else would they do that? Why would he be laughing? And then, like, I'm not saying that he wouldn't be laughing when he killed somebody, because he's definitely the type to do that. But hear me out here. He was probably laughing because, you know, he's a little bit, you know, gone up here. But also, maybe, possibly, he... Yo, I'm coping so hard right now. But like, maybe possibly he didn't know that he had actually killed him, and that was a surprise to him. Also, very emotionally stunted, much like Ivan is. But yeah, that might be cope on my part, but I like to believe. I like to believe. Because otherwise, that brings his body count to 1, which is like, he's on him and Luca body count at 1. During all of this happening, as soon as she sees Luca, like, Hyuna freezes up. And so there's clearly something, like, probably a little bit more there. Like, not just that, like, childhood trauma, because there's probably a little bit more after that. She somehow was able to escape this facility. And there's also these 2 guys here. I would like to know who they are. I would like to know. Just, I would like to know who they are. Anyway, now we're caught up and we can move on to round 6. They infiltrate the big building arena that this is being held in, and getting ready to do something, which we will find out in round 6. All right, I've updated the board. We have, oh god, can you see that? Yeah. I had to get rid of Sua. I'm sorry, Sua. R.I.P. Sua. And then we have, I added a very shittily drawn version of Hyuna and Luca. I didn't write their names down. They're there. And then the little alien resistance group. Okay, cool, you're caught up, cool. Okay, round 6 between Ivan and Till. I wonder how this will turn out. Okay, so Till is defeated. He's gone. He pretty much thinks Mizi is dead. Like, he's like, she's gone. I don't know what happened to her. Chances are she's probably dead. There's no reason for her to be alive, because apparently no one knows about this, like, resistance group thing. So I guess there's no reason to think that like, she would have gone there, right? But also, please imagine being Ivan in this situation. Like, Ivan literally has been like sitting there pouring his heart out, singing his heart out about, oh man, I want you, you're right there, you're so close but you're so far away, all this stuff, and knowing that the song that Till is singing is not directed towards you, but it's somebody else. Honestly, he takes it like a champ. He really does. He takes it as a champ as much as he can be in that situation. So here we get to see more of Till and Ivan's like backstory. We get to see that Ivan was the one who stole the flowers from Till and was has been goading them on. We also get to see that he is the one who led that alien dog thing to Till and Mizi just to see a reaction. He's a little freak. He's been a little freak for a very long time. We just get to see him constantly messing with Till like over and over again. He literally walks up to him. Till has this cut because he just gets into fights, and we see him like just drink his blood, like the little weirdo that he is. This little Fang, maybe he is a vampire, who knows? I know there was a lot of like speculation that these people might have been like grown in tubes or something, and you know what, if I saw this, I would be hard agree. That's not what's happening here, but I can see why people thought that, because why is he acting like this? Literally the lines, "Your gaze is where I'm seen, consume me." Yeah. Anyway, Till is not doing well. He's not doing great. At this point, Ivan puts in a whole Hail Mary and just walks over there and just kisses him multiple times. He's just like, I'm throwing it away. I'm throwing it all away. And then proceeds to try, or at least pretend to, choke out Till. And Till's just like, I guess this is it. I guess it's my time to go. And of course, Ivan is the one who died. I'm pretty sure it's because the aliens are homophobic. Because why would they do that? Like, why would they do that? Because somehow Till's numbers raise, and he's the one whose points raise. I think the aliens are homophobic, guys.
Anyway, so yeah, he's gone now. Ivan's gone. Goodbye. Like, yeah, Till just does not get to be happy, because as much as like he may not have at the moment reciprocated Ivan's affections, that was still his friend. His friend is just gone now, and that's also another reason why I thought they might not have been that close. But like, they are friends. Like, they're pretty good friends. You could even argue best friends. He was originally going to run away with him, at least for like a second. Like, that was his friend, and now he's gone. Okay, thank you. On to round 7. Till's life will never stop. It will never stop for Till. On to what is right now the final video in this series so far. I think there will be more. We'll get to that in a second, but we're moving right along here because this is how fast it goes in the actual like universe of the show. Just right along to the 7th round, where it is Till against Luca. Till is gone. He's gone. He was gone before, but he's really gone now. He's lost all will to live. He's also very visibly like ill. Like, he's not okay physically. But he's still being forced to sing. They give him like this fake guitar thing, which is like, I'm bringing back around to, oh, first of all, they're singing this amazing song, Blink Gone. It's so good. I say that about every single song. Every song is good, but this song specifically is also really good. Top three right there. And obviously it's about the fleetingness of life and to enjoy it while you're alive and like all this stuff, which is very interesting because makes you wonder if like this was Luca's like way of thinking. Like, at this point, he's just kind of like, you can always say that because he's the one who's quote unquote winning at the moment, right? And the idea that he will be the one to survive is like very, very high. So it's easy for him to be like, just enjoy the moment, my guy. Like, what? And again, he's also messing with Till in the same way that he messed with Mizi, like mimicking Ivan's movements and like getting him to like freak out, which again, you didn't have to do. He was already freaking out. Till was already like barely singing, barely playing the song. Granted, now he seems to have a little bit more of like a desperation for his life, but he's very physically ill. Like, he's very physically ill, which is very interesting of like, why? Like, why is he physically ill? He might have been getting beat up in between rounds, but it's like, why is he so like visibly ill? Like, right towards the end, you can see how like ill he is. He's like bleeding from the nose. It's like, if you want me to win, why would you not give me some time to like breathe? Like, please. So yeah, like I said, they give him this like fake guitar thing. Luca also gets a violin, and that's where my theory comes in that somebody else probably was helping Luca behind the scenes. Like, some other, whoever like quote unquote owns Luca was probably just like, yeah, they're gonna cheat and use a guitar, so here, I'm giving you this violin. We don't know the rules, but like, you would think if they were allowed instruments, everybody else would have an instrument too, but like, Till has been the only one so far with an instrument, and so I can see why they'd be like, oh, here, Luca, get an instrument, learn how to play the violin in like 2 seconds, go ahead, go do that. And he did, though. He did. Also, the fact that Luca chose to mimic Ivan and not Mizi, I think says a lot, because he easily could have done that and it also would have gotten under Till's skin, but the fact that he chose to mimic Ivan, instead, he had the choice between the two, and he chose to do that, and it got under his skin. That, to me, proves, and it proves to a lot of people in the fandom as well, that it was maybe, given the time, Ivan's feelings might have been reciprocated by Till, just not at that moment, you know, which like makes it even more heartbreaking. It's okay. I live in La La Land, called the High School AU, that like, I'll put it on screen. It's so good. It's so good. It's good, it's cute, and it's wholesome, and nobody dies, as far as I know. Oh, sorry guys, I totally forgot. I totally forgot. We're gone. We are dropping like flies out here. So meanwhile, while all of this is going on, Mizi, Hyuna, and these two guys who I really want to know the names of, like, please tell me who are they, have broken into this facility and are seemingly here to steal some type of information. What information? We don't know yet, but some type of information. You know, the little hacking they do in like early 2000s movies, just stick a flash drive in and there's a bar going up and it reaches 100. Yeah, it's that type of hacking. We have no idea what they're trying to steal. But Mizi sees Till on stage and is like, oh my god, that's right, I have a friend who I kind of left here. I want to go save him. Hyuna's like, don't do it. And she's like, I'm gonna do it anyway. And she goes, also her hair is short at this moment because she saved Hyuna when Hyuna was like going through her whole like PTSD war flashbacks, basically. She saved her from that by getting her hair cut off like Sakura style. Anyway, moving forward. So Mizi is going through the like corridor. She throws this like alien shaped smoke bomb,
which like girly, I feel like we should have saved that from when we got to Till, because she gets to the crowd. She somehow makes her way to the front of the crowd. I think it's very interesting also that there's a lot less seemingly security during this round. Like the crowd is even closer to the stage than they ever had been before, and that's why Mizi is able to be so close to the crowd. Maybe they did that on purpose, because maybe they were trying to lure out the rebels. Who knows? Either way, Mizi's in the crowd in the front. Till sees her and is like, oh my god, but the song is over. The song has ended. He goes to her, he reaches out to her, he gets shot, he's dead. I don't know, Mizi, I love you, girl, you're my favorite. Why did we not think this went through, of like bringing an extra smoke bomb or something? We just kind of sat there and let this happen. Like if we had just like a smoke bomb or something, they wouldn't have been able to see you, because that's how you got saved by HYUNAAAAAA. Yeah, okay. Anyway, a very heartbreaking flashback plays where we see Mizi and Till kind of like hiding away in their childhood, being all silly and goofy and fun. And like Till is really flustered by the fact that he's so close to Mizi, and it's very cute and it's very sweet. In the background, there's like xylophones playing, and it's a very slow xylophone that is constantly getting slower. And somebody in the comments was like, almost like it's a heartbeat slowing down. You will see death. You will see hell. Why would you say that to me? Why would you say that to me? Anyway, yeah, I believe it. It's just like his life flashing before his eyes right before he dies, and then he's gone. He's gone. I don't, like, what is even the point anymore? I don't. Okay, it's not looking good for our heroes. It's not. So the song is over. Also, I forgot to totally mention, as Luca was taunting Till, he like laughed. He was just like laughing at the end about how desperate Till was to like survive. This man he's gone. Whatever up here that produces empathy is gone. It's completely gone. Like it is. Or another Luca cope. What if it's like he's not in control of like doing that? What if it's just like a tick he has? Join me on the Luca cope train. Join me. Anyway, right at the end here, Mizi is holding a dead Till in her arms on stage, and we get to see HYUNAAAAA, who got shot like a little bit ago, like right like during this time. She got shot by somebody, probably one of the soldiers, and so she's not doing well. So I don't know why she's here. I guess she's here to grab Mizi and go, but she's standing there on stage in front of Luca. And while you may think this is the end because it says final, I don't think it's going to be the end, because right at the end they say, oh, Luca won. However, there were some special guests, Mizi and now HYUNAAAAA. I think we're getting HYUNAAAAA versus Luca next. And meanwhile, Mizi is going to be fighting for her life. Again, fighting for her life. I feel like they're going to put a microphone in front of her and she's going to lose it. However, I would love to see a Luca versus HYUNAAAAA. I would love to see that. I very much so would. Because it's mostly the fact that like Luca is very surprised to see her. Almost like he maybe thought that she was dead. Yeah, what the fuck do they got going on? I would like to know. And so yeah, that's Alien stage so far. My heart has been thoroughly ripped out of my chest. Yuri is doomed as it always is. And will continue to be doomed as it always is. Hopefully Mizi at least gets a happy ending. I just love when the official account posts like a new comic or a new picture of like, here's all of them very happy together. like you did this. Like this isn't fan art. Like this is official art. You did this. Like why? Like what do you? Whatever. Anyway, I would like to hear your guys' theories and thoughts about Alien Stage down in the comments below. I love it so much. I hope you do too. If you haven't watched it yet, please go watch it. If you just sat here and watched me yap, like absolutely go watch it. Come back and tell me in the comments below what your favorite song is and who's your favorite character. And of course your theories of what you think is going to happen next. Because I don't think this is the end. I think that was kind of like a fake out by saying it was the final, because there's still like a lot of loose story threads that need to be like sewed up, not just like, oh, everybody's dead now, but like also like what's going to happen to the fact that Mizi and HYUNAAAAA were on stage, like all this stuff. Though it is a very like up to interpretation type of like piece of media, so like maybe they might leave it. I don't know. I doubt that they will though. Go support the people who make this. I'll put their like studio name here. Please go support them any way that you can. They have a Patreon. They have free content on their Patreon too, so like I said, if you want me to go through the characters, like a deep dive on the characters, the character relationships, if you want this to make a return, let me know down in the comments below and I will do that for you. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you did, you are a real one. And hey, I'll see you in the next episode. Love and peace.